We are joined by Chief Richard Price, who is the president and founder of PulsePoint. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, as we were just discussing before we rolled the cameras, this is really an important place at FRI to get your messaging across for PulsePoint.
It definitely is. I mean, we're coming off a very successful FRM in Henderson, Nevada. Looking forward to FRI. It's a well-attended show. A lot of PulsePoint agencies attend this show. We don't really get to face-to-face with our agencies very often, so to make sure they're aware of everything we're working on, all the latest things, and it's also a great opportunity to introduce PulsePoint to agencies that aren't familiar with this yet.
Now, when people think of PulsePoint, they think of the CPR app, but its importance and utility in the community seems to go really much further than that. So has this always been the case, or are you really doing something new with the app?
Well, we've learned over the years that informing the community is a very effective way to get them engaged. So when people smell smoke or they hear sirens, they can look at the app and see what's going on. And it's that daily usefulness of the app that really drives engagement, where people tell their neighbors, they tell their friends, and by using the usefulness, that daily usefulness of the app, that's how a community builds enough people to be able to respond to cardiac arrest when they occur. If the app was only activated when there was a CPR event in a public place where they were nearby, they really wouldn't use the app very often, not think about it, wouldn't talk about it. So keeping the community informed of things that are happening is sort of the magic of PulsePoint and how we build the number of followers that we have.
And I understand there's not just a community aspect, there's also a professional aspect of the app. Can you talk about the differences between the two?
Yeah, so the professional version removes all the limitations or restrictions that the community version has. So things like we don't show the address of medical calls in the community version. In the professional version, we do. We don't show all incidents in the community version. Incidents that are of a sensitive nature or dangerous nature, those aren't in the app. Professional version shows all calls. And cardiac arrest events are only shown in public places in the community version, where the professional version, it's all cardiac arrests. So we call the professional version Verified Responder. Actually, in the conference app, there's a link to that on the homepage of that app where attendees can get more information on that. But there's a few examples.
PulsePoint has been building a registry of AEDs from use by the community responders, but I understand that now the foundation is also focused on making sure that dispatchers also have access to the location of all of these devices as well.
Yeah. So the PulsePoint AED registry is unique in that it's designed for putting AEDs in motion at the time of an emergency. Most registries are for registration or regulatory purposes, maybe for maintenance purposes. Our registry is really just to get those AEDs in use during cardiac arrest events. So getting them in front of dispatchers is very, very important. So we have partnerships with like Priority Dispatch, ProQA, where as a dispatcher is going through a protocol and asking the questions, if an AED is warranted, typically they would say, is there an AED nearby? But with our integration, they can now say, we see that there's 3 AEDs nearby. Can you send someone to the second floor, to the Starbucks in the lobby, those kinds of things. So we view that integration as very key to just having another way to get those AEDs used during an emergency.
And I understand that you've released several different versions of the app over the past year. What is one of the coolest things that you're really excited about with this app?
Wow, just one cool thing. So let me give you 2. Since we just talked about the AED registry, one of the new things we're doing is agencies are using the registry, are using their AED locations to place other resources for really time-sensitive events. So we are also now tracking, in addition to AEDs, Narcan for opiate overdoses, epinephrine or EpiPens for severe allergic reactions, and also bleeding control kits in support of Stop the Bleed initiatives that cities are running. So it's no longer just an AED registry, but really a registry for resources that you need very quickly. And then the other one that I'm excited about, hopefully people will stop by and see, is we have a new feature called Destination Street View. So when an incident appears on PulsePoint, it shows a picture of the destination. So a firefighter could get that and see the exact location, the house they're going to, the building they're going to. Instead of just getting an address, they might see that, oh, that's the CVS pharmacy. So having an image of where you're headed before you even leave the station, or if you get a CPR alert to see where you're going, that's a pretty cool feature. So stop by and see us. We'll show that to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're located in the IAFC Pavilion. Chief
Yes.
Price, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for saving lives.
Thank you.